Hello everyone and welcome on in. I wanted to introduce a semi-new series to you called Legend of Patchy. Now this Let's Play I created back when The Sims 4 Seasons was first released and had started actually playing through this Let's Play over on Twitch, but ended up putting it on hold when the great modpocalypse of 2018 happened. Since I decided to also start making content for YouTube, I figured what would be better than to resurrect the series and start from scratch for everyone to enjoy. So I guess the first thing I should start off stating is that this story is what I call an origin story. No, not origin as what we use to play The Sims, but an actual origin to something or someone, which in this case would be Patchy. Now, when I think of an origin story, I think of a recollection of past events and tales that shape the way something is today. So this whole series is going to be around how our beloved Patchy became the straw man that he is today, and just what actually happened to him so many years ago. Now, as you're going through this video and you end up really liking what you see and you want to actually jump into the story yourself, you'll be able to do so by going down inside of the description. You'll see an actual link to the Google Drive folder that I have all the information that you're going to need to get started with your own version of Legend of Patchy. There's a file there that's called the rules. It's going to tell you basically all the guidelines that you're going to need to follow as you go through the different pieces of the story. And then also there's going to be a world save that you can import into your game there. It has a small section of actually built out. It's a completely empty save, so there's no Sims inside of there or nothing. It's a completely blank save for you to really customize to do exactly what you want your story to unfold for. There's a lot of community lots that I built myself to go along with the story, which I'll be doing a little bit of a slideshow as we look into what the town of Darrenshire, which is what we've been calling the town, and you'll be able to jump on in and create your own version of Patchy, and you'll be able to play the entire story out on your own to be able to tell whatever story it is that you would like to go for. So feel free to go into that link there. I'll pop a little link up here on the video as well, and then this is basically the entire rules that we're going to follow as we go through this entire series. So let's go ahead and take a moment to kind of take a quick little tour around the town of Darrenshire, which is an early 1900s based town. I'm thinking right around like 1920s is what I had in mind whenever I was building it all out. But I wanted to try to keep to the same style that's all inside of Windenburg, so it like really fits inside of the whole space there. And then also be really rustic, so like not a lot of electricity used, still doing stuff by candlelight. Electricity is just coming out to these people here, this small village. They're just getting cars and like they're just like really on the cusp of moving into like the world that we know it is today with all of our technology and whatnot. But basically my goal whenever I was going through and building this entire world here was to provide a unique experience for every single person that came in and wanted to actually go through the Let's Play themselves to have their own version of their story. So there's many different types of lots that are already provided by the world save. That is, in the event that you want to use the world save yourself, obviously you can build it all out yourself if you really wanted to. But in the event that you use this world save to kind of get you up and running really quickly, provides a lot of different lots, a lot of visual lots, a lot of functional lots there as well that you can move on in and kind of just tell your story depending on how you want it to unfold. Whether you want to meet a new friend as you're going through, you can meet them in front of the church that we had just saw there, or you want to go every single night for drinks at the local bar like there in Darrenshire, like you have the ability to do so. It's just how you want to actually let your story unfold. But basically it's just a way for you to just really immerse yourself into the story because it is your own, it is of your own making, because you are the one that's deciding how you interact with this town here. And then you can take your story and go and talk to one of your friends that may be going through the actual play themselves and be like, hey, how did you approach it? Did you use the bar itself? Did you actually make friends with the owner of the distillery and made sure that you always were delivering fruit, so to speak, to him? That way he can make the finest wines and always like generating wine from right there. That's up to you. It's really just how you wanted to tell that story there. But I'm gonna go ahead and just let this all kind of play out. That way you can kind of just see all the different lots that are here as you've been seeing play on through. There's a few more that are left, and then we'll be right back. So hopefully you enjoyed the tour. I thought that was really cool just to have all those little lots kind of put together just to kind of show everybody just exactly what the World Save provides to them. Again, there's going to be a lot of ability for you to add your own builds inside of it. A bunch of residential homes are just wide open for you to add in your own rustic style homes or pull them off the gallery, whatever it is that you would like to do. That's all going to be there. So let's just dive right in. I'm really excited to be able to just get into the story and just really start playing it out and just seeing how it all unfolds for everybody, but especially for myself, because I'm super stoked. I wrote this guy up, like I said, this would be the first time of me actually going through and fully playing it myself, which is going to be a brand new experience for me. So I'm really excited. We're going to get all the excitement and everything to go along with it. But along with this and how each of the generations all play out, this is going to be the very first chapter. There are 4 chapters that I wrote up for this story here, so you'll be able to go through 4 different sections of the story before you get everything all together. So as you play through all those pieces, put them all together, there's your story for how Patchy became to be. So let's go ahead and jump into the full-on backstory, shall we? So the backstory goes as so. Legend has it that long ago, there was a farmer. He wasn't an ordinary farmer, but a true master artisan of his work. His thumbs were more green than the most natural field of grass, with a beauty greater than any bouquet of flower ever assembled. Any seed he touched grew almost unnaturally well, providing plenty of blooms for harvest, both food and flowers alike. His name was Patrick Crewston. Patrick lived in the rolling hills of Windenburg and provided for the local townsfolk of Darrenshire. The mayor always welcomed Patrick as a member of their town, as he provided over 80% of their food source single-handedly from his farm. He was always greeted with the waves of his fellow townies, along with the local bread makers and distillery trading their boon for his harvest. Not everyone was so keen with Patrick, however. Rumor had it that there was a woman who lived in the woods nearby. She was known to delve in the arts of witchcraft and is the sole reason for the increased toad population, incidentally. Being grotesque and ugly, she had an extreme hatred for anyone who was considered beautiful in the eyes of others. Word caught of her ear of the beloved farmer, and she had to see for herself what all the fuss was about. Having snuck into the outskirts of town, she waited for the farmer to make his daily delivery of stock. When Patrick arrived, she was filled with so much hatred and jealousy that the trees she was hiding behind began to worm and became disfigured. Whisking her way home, the witch derived a plan to ruin Patrick Crewston. Discovering a spell to make her just as beautiful, she set in motion the series of events that would alter Patrick's life forever. And alright, here we are. So this is Crewston Farm. So I built this guy out specifically for Legend of Patchy, the Let's Play that we're going through here. And I just love the fact of how I ended up shaping the whole thing. It took me a little bit to get the actual house down as far as the style that I wanted to look like. I think I bulldozed a lot at least 2 or 3 times before I finally got this down to what I wanted to look like. And it's kind of modeled a little bit after a home, like one of the farm homes inside of World of Warcraft, actually. That's where I got a lot of my inspiration from. I actually did this live on stream as well. Oh my God, I just noticed that those 2 windows are a little bit different there. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I don't know if this was an afterthought or something along those lines there, but that seems a little odd that I have one with shutters and one whatever. That's just the way it is. But basically, yeah, whenever you go through and you jump into the story itself and you want to actually start playing, you have the choice of choosing whether you want to do a smaller lot, like a 40 by 30, or if you want to go full blown, which I usually always do, is I'll go a 64 by 64 and then just kind of fill in where I don't really want to use until I need to use it or whatever. So before, whenever I had started doing this Let's Play, I started off with the front, this entire area right here, the entire farm. So I had this all painted out and just completely covered with lines ready for plants and everything. And as I started going through it, I was just like, oh my God, this is way too much space to try to fill up there and way too many plants. So this time around, I figured I'd do it a little bit smarter and actually have this as a smaller lot there. Well, I mean, even this is a huge garden in its own, plus place for us to have actual trees up here. This is where I was putting all of my lemon trees and everything like that. It's going to go up inside of that little area there. But for the main part, the main plants and whatnot are going to go all around inside of this little area here. This is where we're going to spend a lot of our time taking care and cultivating and doing all that jazz there. But some of the major things that you need to pay attention to, which you'll see inside of the rules there, I'll probably pop it up right here on the video. When you jump into the Let's Play, you're going to start a brand new save. The the save file should be set in spring. If you do decide to create your own save file there, I would suggest that you start in spring or summer if you're playing inside of Windenburg. Now, I do have the options there where I say that you could also use like Willow Creek if you wanted to, just to kind of provide the same kind of like ambiance or whatever as far as the world there. If you're going to start in Willow Creek, I would say start in summer or fall. So right around those seasons there should be the best bet. But since we're here in Windenburg, we went ahead and we started in spring. It's going to give us plenty of time for us to grow certain plants and everything to get a pretty good harvest going on before it comes into the wintertime there. It's just all based on your immersion, though, honestly. And then, of course, like as you're getting into it, the very first thing you're going to do is, of course, create your first sim. So I gave a little overview of Patrick Crewston here. This is our Generation 1 sim. This is Patrick Crewston, the sim that we're going to be playing on this lot here, who's going to be the farmer that everybody in the town adores. I just kind of wanted to create somebody that was just like the strong chiseled jaw and just like one of those, like, he has that manly, I guess, sexiness. I don't know. Just something go along those lines there. I'm terrible when it comes to sim creation, so I think honestly, like whenever I approached him and created him, I thought he turned out quite all right. He kind of has like a Roger Moore look to him as well, which I'm a sucker for. What's it called? James Bond and 007, especially the Roger Moore section of it. So I think I may have pulled a little bit of inspiration from that as well, just out of the back of my mind there. But basically, as I said, you get on a 40 by 30 lot or a 64 by 64, average way you want to do it. I mean, honestly, you can do anything 40 by 30 or greater. And then just jump on and build yourself a nice little home there. You decide how you want to shape it or make it look like how immersive you want it. I went ahead and I made mine very rustic, so not a lot going on inside of here. It's very much simple. It's got a little easel inside of here in case I want to do a little bit of side painting. A nice little fireplace here just for keeping yourself warm in the middle of the winter. And a very low-tech kitchen. Now, there's certain pieces you'll see in the rules that I have as far as like mods and custom content and stuff like that. There is one piece of custom content that I put inside of here that is a countertop retexture of the Parenthood counter. So if you have Parenthood, this should be an easy one for you to pull on in. But I kind of wanted one that was a wooden texture. So just, I mean, it's 1920s. You know, I didn't really think like a farm home would have like immaculate looking marble or something along those lines there. So that's kind of why I went along with that route there. And then I also pulled in a functional teapot. I know for a fact that your sim ends up getting sick and it's just a pain in the butt, and especially if you're trying to keep that immersion. Again, that's what I really hook into. Back in the 20s, like of course, like you'd have to rush off to some like backwater doctor or whatever that you're not even sure if you're going to survive, just going there for like a simple cough. So I decided to pull in another piece of CC here. It is a teapot. It's basically just a retexture of the already existing magical tea brewer that allows us to brew the certain kind of tea that we need to keep ourselves healthy. But everything else is all basic. We have an actual legit ice box. So back then, the way the ice boxes worked, that they would actually put ice in the machine to keep the food cold. So as I go through and I play this, I'm actually not storing any leftovers at all. I let the food spoil and I throw it out. So very much like no refrigeration at all. This guy is here just to kind of store some of the stuff that I pull in from the farm there, just to kind of keep it as a little storage spot. But I'm not really using that as like the store food, so it's just kind of there. Hopefully this time I don't catch the entire home on fire like I did last time. I burnt this whole little section here whenever I tried to make something simple. I can't remember about it. No washing machines, but I do have like the actual like clothesline out here, and then of course a little trash bin just to make sure that we can actually get rid of our trash. And then upstairs is just again something basic and simple. We got a nice little bookcase that's inside of here, a little small like upstairs sitting living room area, a little desk that we can sit at and kind of like do journal writing if we really wanted to. A spare bedroom inside of here, which I have set up just in case. You'll see inside the rules you can actually hire on a hand to help out with the farm. I usually don't do that like right out of the gates there, but a little bit further on, once we start getting a couple of plants onto the lot and it starts getting a little bit unmanageable for one person to do it, instead of hiring a gardener, I actually will go and pull somebody from the school. I have the kids automatically like aging up as we go through. So once we get to that point, there should already be a teenager somewhere inside of that school that we can go and pull on the lot there. I use the same family as I use whenever I was streaming it on Twitch there. So we potentially may get the same sim that we had to be able to join on in and help out on the farm there. And that would be pretty nice because I had that whole story written up with him. His name is Andrew. Small bathroom, of course, like low level plumbing. Of course, this probably just leads out to some pipe that shoots out into the back. Who knows? That's disgusting. And of course, like you have to come and like get the bucket of water and pour it inside of here and actually fill up your bathtub with water, and then just a low-tech sink, and then a basic bedroom inside of here. You know, it's got a double bed, it's all wood, everything. It's almost like he handcrafted it all himself, which technically he may have, because he does have his little wooden station out here that he could have just made that entire bed and all his furniture himself. You never know. He is magic with his hands, by the way. I did put in a little greenhouse out here. Like, of course, like his whole story is that he's just really good at growing plants and whatnot. So as you can see inside of here, he's got like every single possible plant that he could possibly grow. Is everything he touches just keeps growing. He just has no idea why. So I have a little spot that we can actually create up some little arrangements and everything and sell them. And then, of course, if you have Jungle Adventure, and I think City Living does it as well, there is a cart here. So part of the first little step in our generation here in the rules is to gain funds. So almost think of it as like a rags to riches for this this little first part here, to gain up money. And the way that I like to do it, you'll see as you go through the rules, there's certain things that are labeled as like hard mode. I want to actually sell, like part of the rules is you have to actually sell your crops off of here 2 different days. So what I end up doing is I'll go and I'll create an actual event on our calendar here for our selling days. So usually I'll have it like a Tuesday and a Friday, which we might as well just go ahead and just create them right now. So let's go ahead and do an ad event. We're going to make it actually not, it's not an event, it's a holiday. I made it as a holiday before, I always remember that. All right, so this is going to be Market Day. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it Market Day. And this is what we're gonna use. It's going to alert us on the calendar that the day is coming up. That way we know to at least have some crops that we can go out there and start selling and pull people in from the town to actually sell these crops to. So I don't really care about the decoration theme. We're not gonna actually be decorating for it. Just go ahead and find some sort of symbol here. Let's go with gardening. Gardening actually makes sense for our symbol there. So tradition, well, these are traditions. I thought it was symbol. This is what I need to change for the symbols there. We'll make it money. Let's go ahead and make it like the money one here, because that's how we're gonna make our money. And then I guess with traditions, we can go ahead and do gardening. So like in the very start of the morning, you can go out and actually pull some fresh crops and sell that. So as long as we do that every single day, we should be good. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. At least we'll get a little boost from it. So we're gonna create that holiday here, and what we'll have to do is actually create this on every single one of these sections here. So we'll do the same thing and just add a holiday on top of here. Was that right? Yeah. So Market Day, and then set the picture here to the little money, and then we'll set it to gardening, and then just go on through all that. So I'll be right back. Whenever I set all these right here, we should continue on. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of freaking events that I had to go ahead and set there. I don't think I want to ever create another holiday again in The Sims 4. It looks like I picked like the perfect days though for Tuesday and Friday, because we just like barely miss Christmas, and we barely miss like New Year's Eve and Thanksgiving and all those things. I do believe I may have done like Monday and Thursday on my last play, because I felt like I had to keep making adjustments. The only one I had to make an adjustment for was Love Day here, so I had to go ahead and move it over. I want to keep Love Day just in case, you know, you never know, we might find ourselves our love connection there or something along those lines. But went ahead and moved it on over to Saturday, just so we can still have Market Day. It's not too close to the very first one there, and you know, it's just all set and ready to go. So that's all set. That's the one thing that we needed to set up very first thing, to have that all ready to go there. That way we get our alerts. Probably when it comes to the first Market Day, we're not going to have really anything to sell, so we may be avoiding that first one there, and we may end up having like a bad Market Day, just in case we find some plants or whatnot that we may be able to find a couple of blooms that we can afford to sell. We'll end up getting some seed packets and everything, because that is also in the rules for us to be able to do, as well as to start off with a couple seed packets. Again, there's some things that are like hard modes that I have inside of there, so you can start off with, I have it set to be 2 seed packets, but if you wanted to like really challenge yourself inside the Let's Play, you can set it to 1, and that would be perfectly fine. So like as I mentioned before, just a couple of extra things inside of the rules there before we like jump inside. What we need to do is to set the household funds to 2,000. So I'm going to go ahead and set this 2,000 there. You can use the MC Command Center, or you can use UI extensions, which is what I use a lot of my stuff for. I have both MC Command Center and UI extensions, just because I have my certain ways that I like to do, like whatever mod, whatever. You just do whatever it is that you want to do to get that to be down to 2,000 there. You can also use the testing cheats to set your household funds as well. But you need to have your household fund set to 2,000, because our goal is to actually get profits all the way up to, I believe it's 15,000 is what I have. Yeah, I can see it right here. It's 15,000. So we're going to go ahead and get our household funds all the way from 2,000 to 15,000 before we can move on in our Let's Play there. Another thing that we need to do is be able to adjust our, what's it called? The bills to our house. So since this is in like the 1920s, like of course, the funds are a little bit different back then. I mean, you're not going to be like making a ton of money. Obviously, we're not working, although like we could have a custom career and like make ourselves as a farmer, which we probably might do since we have the brand new like features to do that. But I went ahead and my lot here, if you decide to use my lot, by the way, this is all up in the gallery. You could find this. You have to toggle the CC, include CC little toggle thing to find it up in the gallery there. But it is called Crewston Farms. You'll be able to find that guy up inside the gallery. If you wanted to use my farm for your Let's Play, maybe you're not very comfortable with building yourself, or you just want to like really jump right into it, feel free to pull this guy down. And bottom underneath my little greenhouse here, I do have a small tablet. Obviously, tablets shouldn't exist in the 1920s. Like, what is this witchcraft right here? But we use this to be able to toggle the MC Command Center. So I can go on into the MCC settings and then go into money settings. And then over here on change bill percent. So this is, you'll see that in the rules, what I tell you to do. I kind of list this all out in the rules as well. But you need to set this down to a certain amount less than what the game normally provides for you. So I have it at -50 because I'm on a larger farm. So that means less bills because of the fact that my bills will be even greater because of the amount of stuff, like the amount of space that I have on slot at my farm there. If you're on a smaller lot there, like a 40 by 30, you can do this like probably like -25. That may be enough. You can adjust this as according as you see it, like depending on how much you're actually selling versus how much you are having to pay in bills there. You can adjust accordingly and see like what's the most comfortable, like where you feel like you're actually still progressing and you're not like actually going backwards in that manner. So I put mine as -50. If we end up having to adjust it, it'll be easy just to pop on back in and do so there. So this will be always there just in case we need to use it. And let's see, is there anything else? Well, obviously I need to clean up a plate there because if you pull my lot down, you get yourself a nice free plate of fish tacos. How about that? 9 hours until it's spoiled. And I don't really see any food on there, but you can pretend these. So I'll have to fix that guy up. And also I have out here like a little barn, so obviously we don't have tractors or anything along those lines there, but part of my story that I had played out before, I had used this, and I'll probably end up using it again. It's just a nice little visual piece to go along with the entire farm there, so nothing too crazy. Let me see here. We'll have to get our seed packets right out of the gates there. We already have our witch created, so that's all listed inside of there and what you're supposed to do with the witch. She actually lives up in this little forest that we had created here. This lot is also available on the gallery for download. I think it's called Witch's Hollow. You'll be able to find that guy up there. I'll probably post a link on the video there for you to be able to go and find it. But Griselda's already up inside of that lot there. So the other thing that we need to make sure that we do is set the settings to where the played households lives in gameplay. So auto age unplayed sims. We want to make sure that this is unchecked because we don't want Griselda aging up. We don't want any of like the townies like aging up there. We need to keep that unchecked there. That way it's like we don't end up having a bunch of those like iconic features or iconic people that we need to talk to, especially the mayor. Like we need to make sure that they don't end up dying out. And also we don't want Griselda aging up there, especially if it's a little bit of a play against the time because you have to have a few things done before Patchy gets to a certain age there, having like his heir and all that's already born and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and have auto age turned off for unplayed sims. And then for played sims, I'm going to go ahead and have that off as well. Full autonomy, I'm going to leave that on just in the event that I don't really have anything for him to do. I'm going to let him kind of just go and do his own thing there as we go through the play. My sim count shows as 47. That's just because as of right now I loaded on like a couple of townies inside the lot, and I'll probably add in a few more before I actually like dive into the gameplay there, just to make sure, because the game likes to generate sims for you to fill up the entire maximum count there, and then it's kind of breaks the immersion there because you have little to no control over all the townies that are generated. I have to go in like for all the generated sims and actually change all their outfits to make them look like they're from the era there, which is such a pain. Like even some of the ones that I had pulled in, I have to go and adjust like their cold weather and their hot weather. It's like they were created before seasons came out. So while their normal outfits look like they're perfect for the 20s, and then it flips on over to the what's it called? It's like really hot outside, and they're all like standing there in their underwear, or they're standing there in like some really weird, goofy outfits that just make no sense whatsoever. So probably before like we jump right into that, I'm gonna adjust that and make sure that it's all good to go, because again, like the moment I hit play, there's going to be sims generating, there's going to be sims that are going to start popping up on the lot there and everything. But I think from the very first thing that we're going to get started as far as our let's play there is we're going to dive right into getting our farm set up. So the very first thing we'll do is go and buy some seed packets to see what we get as far as some plants for the springtime there. I may, thinking about it, I may start off by buying some seed packets for right now, like for spring, and I may buy one for summer as well, just because there's certain plants that I want to make sure that we get a nice collection of plants that we can get started with and start filling up our farm there, and really like set ourselves forward for thinking ahead of time for the next season there, and be ready for it. So once I come on back there, I'm going to go and adjust like all of the sims to make sure that we're all good to go. I want to make sure that the let's play is ready. We're probably still going to have some goofiness going on. Probably going to be a car that's going to drive by, and I mean, it's going to look like a real fancy car that doesn't even exist in this time era. But hey, I did put in the car lot just to make sure that in those events we can still kind of pretend and make sure that, you know, we're fully immersed in the story and whatnot. And then past that, we'll be good to go. So I'm really excited to jump into it. Hopefully you're excited as well, and let's get going. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to want to do here is to start working on building up our farm. So, of course, for the very first piece of the generation, our goals is to actually get our aspiration up to level 3, where we're working towards level 4 there. So you have to achieve level 3 of the aspiration, and then also to have a total household funds of 15,000. So there is a hard mode where you can work your way up to 25,000 there if you really want to, and then depending on how you want to put the lifespan of your sims there, that's up to you. It's your gameplay on how you want to go through it there. But we're going to work on actually getting our farm up to date here. Obviously we have nothing on the farm. We have no seed packets, we have nothing like that. Usually what I like to do is actually try to like peruse around and see what the environment provides for us before we go out and actually buy seed packets, because if we can benefit from the land for free, that's going to really help out like as we go along that. So it looks like right out the gates we have a blackberry bush that's right there, and then usually there's a few things that are growing over on this side here. It looks like a couple of more we've got some apple trees, so we're gonna have some apple trees there. Looks like that's 2 different types of fruits that are available to us. Let's see if there's anything outside of our farm here. It doesn't look like anything along those lines. Oh, it looks like there's something back here. What do we got? Bluebell plant. Ooh, nice. So we can take the bluebell plant and use that. So that'll be like flowers. So we already got like fruits and flowers. Looks like we have some mushrooms. So wild mushrooms are going to be growing in right around like this area here. And then moving off towards the back, I know there's always something growing back here behind this house there, and it looks like we have some lemon trees, and then something else is sprouting right here, some cherry trees. Okay, so we got a lot of fruits, like a ton of fruits available to us, and then we have a few like a few plants, like actual like flowers that are available to us as well. So I'm thinking out of the 4 different types of seed packets that we can actually benefit from, it's going to be the flowers, the herbs, the fruits, and the vegetables. So since we already saw flowers and fruits in this area, I think we should go and actually get the herbs and the vegetable packets from the as far as like seed packets there to start off with. That should help us to get a healthy start to our farm, and then once the other stuff in the environment starts to actually grow, we can go and grab some of that stuff off of there and plant that onto our farm as well, to keep us from having to like run around and keep trying to grab the stuff that are in the their surrounding area. So there's different ways you can go like starting off with it. Like I mentioned before earlier, there is a tablet that's in the basement area of my my little shed that's over here, and we can use that as like a way of actually getting some seed packets here, because obviously it's technically like a computer. You can also go and grab them off of the little pots here that I have stacked in the corner. Of course, this is if you're using my save. Depending on how you build it out, that's really up to you on if you have access to that. But finally, like to keep the immersion there, I actually kind of as an afterthought, I had changed up the bakery to be partially a general store as well. So, you know, kind of like we did the whole tour or whatnot of the entire city, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, okay, so what am I missing? Because it seemed like something was actually missing from our little setup here, and because I made sure that we had like a car lot, and we had a little carnival, and we had an ice cream place, and like all this other stuff, and it's like, we don't have a place to actually just buy normal things, like a general store, which would usually be in some sort of town. So I went ahead and I changed the bakery to actually be a bakery and a general store combo, and at least put some seed packets in there that are for sale. And of course, the baker actually will own on the store as well. So we're going to go ahead and do a quick little travel over here and purchase the few seed packets that we actually need to get started there. And then possibly we can actually meet the baker and kind of chit chat with him and kind of get that relationship up, because like I said, my goal is to not only have the meeting those what's it called, the pieces of the generation, right, to get the money for the household and also to get the aspiration up, but part of the story is, Patrick is loved by everybody inside the town. So if I can meet as many people in the town as we go through this and just kind of get to know them and get on a pretty good relationship level with them, I think it just really helps with that immersion of the story there and feel really good about that. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into our actual store and grab ourselves a few things there. Okay, so we've arrived at the bakery and general store there. So we're going to go on in and step on inside, and we're going to try to meet the baker here. So let's go ahead and do a friendly introduction to the baker. Kind of see, hi, I'm Patrick Crewston. I'm new to town, and I just wanted to introduce myself and just see how everything is going there. But it looks like we don't get to have that option. It looks like he's just bouncing on us, so never mind. We'll go ahead and we'll work our way inside here, and we could probably talk to the clerk. But first thing we're going to do is actually get the packets that we need to make sure that nobody comes in and gets them. So we have a starter vegetable set that's right there, and then we have starter fruits. We're looking for the herbs, so we'll go ahead and we'll grab the herbs. I think I set them over here. Yeah, it's fruits, that is vegetables, that is herbs. So we'll go ahead and we'll grab the starter herbs off of the set right here, get them all purchased up. That way we can at least have our seed packets ready to go, and then we can probably go and meet the actual, he's not the store clerk, is he? Yeah, I think he is. Okay, let's go ahead and chit chat with him. Oh, this looks like to be the winemaker. So let's go ahead and do a friendly introduction with the winemaker, Mr. Winemaker. If we had a few people of the community actually create some of these sims there. So his name is Mr. Winemaker. Hello, Mr. Winemaker. Hopefully you're having a really good day today. My name's Patrick Crewston. It's lovely to meet you. Let's go ahead and sit down and just have a quick little chat with him, just see how everything is going there. It's like, I love winter. Let's go ahead and brighten his day. Looks like he's feeling a little bit down. Just wanted to go ahead and just chit-chat with him, see how he's doing. Hopefully everything is going well. And how do you like the city? Tell me about the city. Tell me what it is. I'm new to town. I want to see what's so special about this town. Let's go ahead and do a quick little joke. Tell him a funny joke. Just kind of break that ice there. Obviously, it's always good to kind of lighten the nerves and whatnot, but a good little joke. I'm assuming we can pull it off. So we'll see if this is a successful joke here. If we get a nice little chuckle out of him. Talking about dinosaurs, and then a llama. And where's the punchline? It was a quick little chuckle. He got a little chuckle out of it. Got the little bit of comedy skill and whatnot. All right, well, that's fine. We'll go ahead and give him a we won't complain about the snow. We can't complain about the weather. We'll ask him about his career, see how he likes working for the bakery here. And then we'll go ahead and we'll send ourselves home. That way we can start actually getting some of our plants planted there and be ready by the time it's already getting late in the afternoon. Whenever I started the save there, I had to get a few things set up. So I realized that it was actually 2 p.m. instead of the normal, I think 9 o'clock is when a brand new save starts, 9 o'clock on a spring day, if you set it to be spring. So we're going to go ahead and send him home there and get those plants planted and everything so we can get our farm started. All right, so we're back at home. Let's go ahead and tear open these seed packets and see what it is that we got there. It's like being Christmas time. Got brand new seed packets. The farmer's really excited for it. Let's go ahead and see what we got as far as our vegetables. Ooh, we got carrots. That's fantastic. I mean, starting off with carrots is just great. So we got some carrots, we got some mushrooms, and we got some spinach. So a little bit lower starting ones, and then we got an actual a 3-starter right there, which is really good. And what is this? This is fall and spring, so we're going to be good for that one. Let's go ahead and pause that before he goes running off and doing whatever he wants there. Fall and spring, and then we have some mushrooms for fall and spring, and then we have spinach for winter. That's a pretty good start there. We don't have anything for summer, which kind of stings, but maybe we'll find something in the area that's going to work out for us. All right, let's see. As far as our herbs go, looks like we have some basil. Awesome. Basil has summer and fall, so that's going to help us out in the summertime. Parsley summer and spring as well, so we'll be able to get benefits from parsley immediately. And then sage, which sage just grows all year round. So out of all these things here, I think we're going to be pretty well off as far as starting off. We got a pretty good set of that. So let's go and move on over into our garden area. I'm going to have him kind of walk on over here, but the very first thing that we got to make sure is line this all up. Now, I know for a fact as going through and planting these things, I don't know a lot about actual gameplay, because I usually build on and mostly build on stream and whatnot. But when it comes to actual gameplay, I know very little about the gameplay in The Sims there. But what I wanted to do is, I know for one thing is that it takes up at least one full square for you to actually have a plant set down. So I need to line these up like on these grids here and find at least the first 2 squares that we want to work with. A healthy spot to use is our actual like posts. So having these posts around here are kind of like invisible little liners there that we can kind of stick stuff around. So we can go along those lines there and keep in line with all these posts as we plant all these plants down, and we should be good as far as like how that's going to play out, and make sure that they don't end up just like randomly popping off to the side there. We can go ahead and we can put our mushrooms here. So we'll go ahead and we'll put some mushrooms down. And then I'm going to have him kind of queue up to start planting these things. So plant that spinach before you go running off. Let's go ahead and move this over to line it up with that post. That's going to be there. You need to get moved over just a little bit there. So we'll have our spinach, we'll have our mushrooms, we'll go ahead and we'll put some carrots down. We'll stick our carrots over in this little area. And then depending on the season, right? So some of these only grow in certain seasons. So this is fall and spring, we're going to get benefits immediately. Winter, we're not going to really get a lot of spinach when it comes to winter time there. And then we have the mushrooms there, which is fall, spring. So these 2 guys should immediately grow and work out for us. Looks like we're already working towards our aspiration as well, just by planting these guys. Let's pop down our sage here. So we got some sage going down. We have some parsley that we're going to put down as well. We'll put this in that next row there. Kind of keep them all in the nice little neat rows. Usually what you would do, like if you're actually doing a garden yourself, you don't want to really like just mix plants up and end up like, I guess like crossbreeding plants. Is that a thing? I may be completely ignorant on that one there, but we'll just go along with that. Just have him just keep planting. I think if we did like the starting off with like plant everything, he'll kind of just plant whatever is out there, because I think it re-registers a new item if it realizes that there's more to actually plant on the field there. So we'll just kind of run through this, get this all kind of planted up there, and we'll see just exactly what happens from that. So I was completely foolish whenever I was recording the last little bit of me getting the plants planted. So, I mean, you just saw that I started off by planting everything. Well, I had recorded a little bit of a segment that did the remainder of all the planting and watered them all up and everything, and then got him back into his home or into bed there to start the next day. And I didn't even realize that I was recording like the moments where I was pausing in between certain things. So like I had 2 different videos of or 2 little small segments of just me like talking to myself or coughing or whatnot and literally doing nothing, and it was like little short like 15-second videos. So I was so aggravated when it came to this, but again, I mean, it's like the very first time of actually doing like an actual like let's play recording and whatnot. So I figured there was going to be some sort of like weirdness going on with all that, and I was going to end up dropping the ball on something, and I would have just considered just restarting, but I love the fact that we got some carrots along in that very first seed packet. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of just keep running with it and just go from there. So hopefully it didn't bother y'all too much that ended up happening. It literally just missed like 6 hours, like in-game 6 hours of gameplay, not like 6 hours of real-time gameplay. So it didn't really miss much or anything. So it is the next day there. It is 8:17 in the morning. I wanted to make sure that we keep Patrick on like a decent schedule. I want him to like be waking up at like 6 o'clock in the mornings. That way he can get out there and get all of the crops harvested and watered and everything that he needs there. Go and peruse around and see if there's anything else that is available to us, like that's growing in the environment that we can bring on in back into our farm there. And then just go and do a few things like in town and just keep meeting folks and bringing them and like maybe inviting them over and like treating them to dinner and whatnot, or even just like going out and just trying to meet some friends and whatnot and just do all that sort of thing. So first things first, we need to go and actually take care of his hunger there. So we did eat a quick meal last night. Since it's only about halfway down, I think we can eat another quick meal if we just go ahead and just start off with some applesauce again. That seems to be, pretty accurate as far as like something that they would eat back in that time there. I mean, you would think like eggs and whatnot. Oh, just imagine like if we could get like a chicken coop, which I know there was somebody that actually created a mod. I may actually look into that. But like having like a chicken coop where we can raise like chickens and at least get eggs, like fresh eggs and whatnot. I love all that sort of stuff. And that would actually be really awesome to add into the game there and like provide that extra little bit as far as like farming and whatnot. So we may have to look into that and see, if we could possibly add that into the gameplay and whatnot. I'll have to do that for like the next video there. But we're going to go ahead and have him start eating his applesauce there. So first things first, right after he gets done with that, I'm going to have him start coming out and start harvesting everything. So I'm going to tell him just to harvest all. It doesn't look like we need to water any of the plants. I think that's because of the fact that we had watered them so late last night. They still have water from the previous day there, so they haven't actually dried out just yet. So we got a little bit lucky on that spot there. So let's go ahead and just kind of look around. I know there were some few spots that we had saw where there's some things that possibly would have been growing there. It looks like the blackberry bushes haven't sprouted yet, so we can't really gain anything from that. These guys over here, all these apple trees, they haven't sprouted yet either. I don't know if the apple trees are actually in season yet right now. But we can just kind of just go around and look around and see if there's anything that's around here that we could possibly bring back in. I'm pretty sure there's going to be like bluebells or something in the area. I know there was these, a couple of mushrooms and whatnot. We could probably go ahead and harvest all these mushrooms that are over here. Probably wouldn't hurt to have a couple more. Ooh, hey, there we go. Looks like we got some bluebells. So let's go ahead and take all these bluebells here. We'll go ahead and be able to plant a couple of those guys. Hopefully he'll harvest both of them since he's right there. Or the one that's like so close in proximity. Just kind of look around all these houses here, see if there's anything else. Definitely got some mushrooms that are tucked inside of the grass there. Maybe over here. I don't really know what this is. Like this little thing right here. I'm certain somebody knows about it, and they could probably even like comment inside the comments down below. But I haven't figured out what this is yet. And I mean, I don't do a lot of gameplay, so I mean, it could be something special, could be just something that's just there for all I know. But I think it looks kind of, you know, conspicuous. Like there's something like more to the little triple rock thing there. Otherwise, why would that be there? Like there's got to be something about it, right? There's always like little hidden Easter eggs in the game and little things to do. Oh, here we go. We've got some lemon plants. So let's go ahead and take a couple of lemons here. We can actually start some lemon trees there and put them back on the farm. I have a little section on the farm there that I like to keep aside, like off to the side there, right around in this little area. I'm going to actually do all of the trees up inside of this little spot there. And it looks like there is a couple more bluebells right beside our farm here, so that'll be a little bit easier to get to as well, like when we're on our way back there. I don't really see anything else. Got a few people fishing back there. Maybe we can go and dig for this. Maybe potentially we can get some sort of like gem or whatnot that we could sell on that first market day. I'm glad that we have a couple of crops that we could sell on the very first market day, so that's going to be great. Kid, don't you... I was about to say... a kid started walking over and was like, don't you dare steal my dig spot. That's what I was going to go do. That is Patrick's dig spot, not your dig spot. All right, so let's see here. Patrick... looks like he harvested everything from the farm. Oh, gosh dang it. How did we get the earbuds? I told that guy no. How do we have it? This is black magic here. We don't know what this are. These little, like, random metal things that are contraptions. It's the 20s. I have no idea what that is. It looks like we got some marshmallows. Wow. Mushrooms. We have some carrots that we got from our farm there as well. And then we got some parsley. It looks like the welcome wagon showed up as well. We're going to go ahead and... well, we're a little bit away and a little busy at the moment. I would like to see who actually came to the welcome wagon. Let's go check out and see, because potentially it could be, it's going to be the neighbors that are around. And since our witch, for our Let's Play, there is a neighbor, I would hate for her to already be, like, we'd be meeting them already. So let's see who's here. We have... Josie Lily, so we don't know who you are. Looks like we got the baker has showed up. We have the bartender showing up, and then also just another neighbor there, Clifton Giles. So we got a couple of folks that have come on over to come and meet up. So I think we should probably head on home pretty quickly there. That way we can go and meet everybody. So let's go ahead and say invite neighbors in. That way we can have them come on in. We can chit chat with them, kind of get to know them and see just what the area is like and see just how the living is here. So we're going to go ahead and cancel on that dig there. That way once we finish up getting those lemon trees, I was going to say hemon trees. What the heck is that? Once we finish getting the lemon trees there, then we can go ahead and bring Patrick back on over to meet everybody that is our neighbors there. So... oh my gosh, can you like run? You're literally just taking your sweet time. He hasn't even gotten all the way over there yet. He's just strolling, just having a good old time, enjoying the environment. I mean, he's the kind of guy that's just, he's in tune with the environment. He just really enjoys himself, enjoys everything that's around him, just enjoys being with nature, in tune with nature, plants and whatnot. So, I mean, it kind of fits his demeanor, to be honest, as far as like how we would expect him to behave and whatnot. I love how they're starting to get little flowers and whatnot on these trees there. They did such a good job when Seasons came out, and they added in all the extra little tidbits into the world there, as far as like flowers growing and blooming and everything. I thought it was so freaking beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and get him home there. Go ahead and just fast forward that to get him on over there. Oh, what happened? Oh no, my neighbors left because I wasn't there. No, it was the perfect time. I should have stayed at home. Because it would have been the perfect time to meet everybody. Now I'm going to have to go and like apologize to every single person, like every neighbor and whatnot. Look at them all leaving. No, guys, don't go. Look, why? Hold on. What happened with the baker? Why am I already at like a negative like relationship? Oh, because I wasn't there to greet them. Oh, that sucks. Uh-oh. Well, let's try to do like friendly introductions and cue them up. Maybe that'll stop at least the baker and the bartender in their spots here. Yes. Stop. Stay here. Don't go anywhere. I'm coming back. No. Dude. Stop. You wait there. Don't move. Okay, good. I should just lock the door and make them stay inside. It's like, too bad, so sad. You're going to have to stay here and meet me. Where am I at? Am I almost nearby? Or am I still like kind of just nonchalant strolling? Here he comes. He's finally running. We finally have him putting a little more pep in his step. He's like, I'm coming, guys. Wait for me. I'm new. I was just walking around and just taking stuff. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to be so rude. All right. Oh no, we lost him. The baker ended up taking off. That's fine. At least we can meet the bartender at the very least. We didn't even get a chance to introduce ourselves to the the baker there, because he ended up leaving whenever we went over to the general store to get the seeds there. So he's still kind of like fresh as far as like somebody we need to meet. But we can start off with the bartender and kind of chit-chat him up, invite him in, maybe give him like one of the crops from our our farm there. I mean, what would be useful for him? I mean, carrots. I mean, you don't really think something like perhaps something he could brew something with. I mean, he's not the brewer though, so he's just the guy that runs the bar. So maybe something. I don't even think we have any. Maybe the lemons. Oh, lemons would actually make a ton of sense there. Let's go ahead and brighten his day. We could probably ask him to hang out. Like, why don't you come on into the farm and chit chat and whatnot? And let's see what's up there. And then we can go ahead and say, what is it, like funny? No, it's not funny. It's friendly. And it's give a gift, right? Yeah, let's give a gift. Let's go ahead and give him a friendly gift. We're going to give him a lemon there. Hold on. That doesn't actually like take all the lemons, right? Because I'd be really upset if it took like all of them. Let me go and put all the lemons where I want them, where there's only 1 or 2 lemons left in my inventory. That way we don't end up losing all of them, because I would be upset. I'd be quite upset if we lost all of our lemons there. I think we can plant the trees the same way that we can plant the plants there and just have them at least 1 square apart. So I'm going to put at least that down right there. Let's actually take this one, since it's like tucked in that really awkward spot right there. I'm going to put it over off that side. We have one nice long line of lemons there that actually works out. Now we can go back and give him a nice little gift of lemons there. Say, here we go. More choices. And, I mean, well, I guess we have to go ahead and ask about his career. Let's find out who he is and see what he's all about there and see what he's doing. So we're going to ask him, it's like, okay, like, you know, what do you do for a living? Like, what do you do inside of Winenberg? And he's going to go ahead and let him know that, hey, I'm the actual bartender. I'm the bartender for this town here. He's like, well, it just so happens that I have a couple of lemons. Well, we'll ignore that. We know he's the bartender. I guess I should go on and actually hire him onto that bar there. Well, it just so happens that we actually have some lemons that I got here. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some lemons to help for your bar there. Maybe for tonight, whenever you go and actually make a few drinks, you could use these lemons there and, you know, potentially, you know, make a couple of awesome drinks to go along and, you know, make everybody enjoy it there. Who knows? See if he actually likes those lemons. It's like, lemons? Lemons. You're a funny guy there, Patrick. Real funny. All right, well, let's go on inside and get all these things planted here, all of the lemons planted here. So go ahead and plant all those guys, and then since we got some bluebells, we could probably find a spot that we're going to stick those bluebells there. Let's stick them, because I got all of my like vegetables and everything over in this little area. I could put the flowers over here, but then it'd be such a pain to travel to like actually water them each day. So I'm going to actually stick them right up here in the front. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in line here, and we'll do the same thing and just kind of block them together, keep them on the little squares there. 5, 4, 3, and 2, and then we could stick a couple of extra ones over here on that side. And we'll tell him to come over here and plant these guys. But first, I want him to plant all these and then have him water everything at the same time. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. I'll have him come on back after we finish all this here. We'll have it all watered up and everything, and then we can continue on from there. Okay, so now that we've gotten everything planted and he's just right at the end of his getting the watering done there, we need to go ahead and get him inside, have him go to the restroom real quick before he just loses himself, and then probably get a quick bite to eat. So lesson learned is that you shouldn't really invite a friend over and then just go out into the yard and just garden all day if he's not going to come out and actually talk to you. He just kind of went inside, stayed inside there, and then just took off. He's like, well, I guess I'm going to go. I mean, you don't want to really talk to me. You're just too busy focusing on the farm there. So we got to do a little bit of a better job of being a gracious host whenever we decide to hang out with somebody. Maybe they have to be kind of into gardening if they want to actually hang on out over here. Otherwise, when you go into town, and probably go over to the bar. So maybe what we could do is actually stop by the bar there and find out just what's up as far as like seeing that he's there, chit-chatting with the bartender, get to know him and whatnot, since he let him know that he actually does work at the bar. So that would actually be a pretty good next step there for us to go in, try to boost that friendship up and everything. So if we do a quick bathroom here, a quick bite to eat downstairs, that should be everything that we need to do to run on over there. So we'll do a quick another thing of applesauce there. We probably should start actually eating stuff other than applesauce, but hey, it does everything that it needs to do. Oh, and then we need to actually clean up our bowls and everything when we're done with all that. And then once we finish up eating all that, like I said, we'll head on over to the bar there and meet him and whatnot. So, like I said, my whole goal is I want to actually meet the bartender, meet the baker, meet the winemaker, at least those three, and then even the mayor of the town there, and just kind of get on good graces with all of them before we move on into meeting the witch and whatnot, and that whole part of the story there. And since it should take a little while for us to get our funds up and whatnot, we got a couple of days that we have to sell crops and everything before we can get that funds up to that next spot there. So I think it'll all work out as far as getting him up to that relationship that I want him to be in before we end up crumbling down his story there. So have him eat his applesauce real quick there, get that hunger all the way up where it needs to be. Hygiene is pretty decent, and then since, we're going over to a bar, we should be okay as far as fun, as far as having a few drinks and chit-chatting. That fun should kind of boost up a little bit. We'll tell some jokes and whatnot, maybe that'll help out. Let's go ahead and clean these bowls up, and then we're going to go and take ourselves a nice little travel there. So once he's finished up with that, let's go ahead and do a travel. And let's travel. Oh, not take a vacation. Nope. Try again. Travel. And just with myself, we'll go ahead and take that little travel there. All right, so we've made our way over to the bar here. Let's go ahead and just kind of unwind for a bit and just kind of get a quick little drink there. Let's go ahead and, I guess somebody has to actually be working the bar, so we'll wait for somebody to actually get on the bar there. But we can go ahead and get inside and work on over. And where are you going? Can we talk about the cloudy weather before you run off? Wait, don't stop. No. I swear. It makes it so hard. No, we're gonna make sure that we get him there. He's coming here. So let's go and go over to our relationship here and make him come to our lot here, because we want you to be here. So MC Command Center, how about we just force you here? So what is that, MC Cheats, I believe? Yeah, Summon Sim. So we'll go ahead and we'll get him over there. So let's have a drink here. So let's go ahead and order a drink. And apparently it's freaking bear day. This freaking get together stuff that's there. What would it be? I want him to actually join us. So actions, add to group. That'll make it be a little bit easier. And then we can have him come and sit as a group there, and have him come over and sit down at the bar. And we could chit chat a bit there. So let's go ahead and get our drink. I told him just to make our favorite drink, which whatever that's going to be. What is Patrick Crewston's favorite drink? I would assume it would be some sort of herbal concoction, or some sort of carrot juice or something along those lines there. Something that would be made from the actual from the earth there. What does he have all tense about? Unbearable. From nearby bear. No sim likes being around deadly animals, but this bear seems more annoying than threatening. Oh god. Is this the problem that we have to deal with there? Is just because there's actual bears here? That's just silly. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. He's just kind of just dancing around to the music there. Let's go ahead and sit on down with Monroe here, our bartender, or actually the bar owner. I keep calling him bartender, but he's actually the bar owner. He owns this bar here. He actually lives above the bar in this little suite that's up here. So little small, simple place there with just a bed and everything. I mean, it's just typical what you would see in like anybody that lives above like the business that they own or work at or something along those lines there. That tends to be right there. Looks like he's feeling a little tense. So let's go ahead and go and try to make his day a little bit better. Let's tell him a quick little joke there. How about a funny story? So we'll go ahead and tell him a funny story about on our way over, like what we kind of ran into and whatnot. So apparently we had a little bit of a dinosaur run-in, but then we gave the dinosaur some toys. And now with the toys, he went to the bathroom. I don't get it either. So if he gets it, that's great. I'm glad that helped out, and maybe that made him feel a little bit better there. But I don't get it. I don't see what the heck went on there. How about we go ahead and do another little bit of a friendly chit-chat and just ask about his day, see how his day was going, and then get to know him a little bit better there and just see, you know, just what makes Monroe tick. Like, how's the bar business going? Like, how is it, like I said, living in this town? Because he wants to get that information about from everybody on just like everybody's different point of view about the city here, about this town. Because, you know, he wants to be an integral part of the place. He wants to live here, wants to make this place like his actual, like, forever, like, town here and, like, fit in with everybody. So, friendly. Let's see. How about we go and I don't want to complain. I know my sim is feeling tense because of the bears, but let's just discuss interests and then maybe even discuss about like local fishing spots as well, just in case we need to go and actually get a couple of extra fish or whatnot. So we'll go ahead and we'll discuss that. Could you not? Would you mind? Like, we're obviously having a conversation here and you just kind of forced your way into it. It's a little bit rude. These bears are a little bit rude here. 1, 2, 3, 5 bears. Why? Why are there bears and why am I now feeling flirty? Oh, because of my drink, I guess. Pummeled by Cupid. That drink has given Patrick some warm and fuzzy feelings. Oh, good Lord. And it's like, why is it? I've always noticed that with those bears there, they always seem to be in a flirty mood. Like every single time, those bears are in some sort of flirty mood. It's very weird. But apparently we got the conversation back on like a happy point there. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more choices and how about a little gossip? Because why not? Can't go wrong with a little bit of gossip there. But at least we're getting our friendship up with him. I mean, it shows that he's unemployed, but he really should be like a mixologist or whatnot. Why am I so tense? He's just like, that's how I feel right now, trying to get all this wrangled together. And then he just takes off. He's like, all right, bye. Bye, Felicia. Let's go ahead and head on home there. We need to get out of this area where all these bears are. This is just ridiculous. It was a bad time. It was a very bad idea. Whose idea was it to come to your bar? Monroe, you need to clean up these bears. It's just it's a tad bit out of control, to say the least. We're going to go ahead and run ourselves down there. We're not even going to pay attention to the fact that Miss Griselda LaFay, our actual witch to the story, is also walking down in the same path to the same area because she lives in the forest nearby. So look at him. He kind of, it's like he knows there's something odd about this gal here. I'm going to go ahead and slow up just a bit. That way I don't actually catch up to her. I'm going to do a light jog, a little small jog, more like a brisk walk, if anything. So he wants to make sure that he doesn't actually like catch her attention, although he has no idea who she is. But we all know. We all exactly know who, or we know exactly who she is. All right, so get him home. He obviously needs to like take like a quick shower or whatnot, and then we'll get to the point where we get him down, and then we can go ahead and plan out like what our next plan of attack is for our farm there to get everything up. It'll be market day the next day. It'll be its very first market day, which I'm sure he's going to be super excited for, and then we'll just see just what kind of money that we're going to pull on in from that. But let's go ahead and wind down the day here. So I wish these loading screens would go a little bit faster. I need to make sure. The only reason why I didn't cut this part out is because I was in the middle of chit-chatting. So obviously I'm a chatterbox. So if I'm going to be chit-chatting in the middle of all the loading screen there, at least we got something to go through. I usually try to cut those guys out though. So we're going to have him just take like a quick shower there. Well, actually, you know what? I mean, just because of the fact that it's already 1 o'clock in the morning and I wanted them to be on like a decent sleep schedule, I'm gonna have him just go straight to sleep. He can shower in the morning there. We could fix his fun in the morning as well. We'll have him like read a quick little book there with his morning coffee and whatnot, and then it'll be actual market day there. So
get him over into his bed. He's still feeling flirty from that drink he just had there, but tense at the same time, so a little bit of a flirty tense. And go and relieve some stress with your pillow there and just enjoy a good night's rest. But thank y'all everybody for watching the video there. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Hopefully you enjoy the content that is to come. Like I said, it's the very first time of me actually recording like one of these like actual like Let's Play videos. I'm a big time like advocate of building, so like I'm always building. You can always check over on Twitch. This is where I'm going to be doing a lot of my actual like live stream builds, and then I've also been doing build renders, which you'll see already uploaded into the YouTube channel there. Feel free to leave comments below. Feel free to hit that subscribe button if you would not mind. Let me know what it is that you think. Constructive criticism would be absolutely wonderful as well as I go through. It's going to be all a learning process for me as I go through all this, and hopefully you enjoy yourself there. The next time that we come on back, we're going to be actually having our first market day, so we're going to start off on our first market day there. We're going to try to continue on our friendship with Monroe there to get him up. I want to at least get every sim up to level, or like, at least like relationship of 50. I think that's a comfortable spot for like a good friend there, that we can be friendly with everybody. But that's going to be our little goals that we have set for the next episode there. But thank you so much for all watching. I greatly appreciate you. I'll see you over on Twitch, and see you next time on the video. See ya.